Modern development tools, including AI-assisted platforms, can generate codes, debug errors, and suggest solutions. These tools are highly effective at handling repetitive and predictable tasks, which are typically assigned to entry-level developers. As a result of automation improves, the need for human involvement in this task decreases. But this does not eliminate developers. It changes what is expected from them. If tonight is the first time to come across this channel, sure, welcome to Brooks Insight. Here at our night podcast, we talk about human development. The software industry is undergoing a structural shift that is quietly redefining what it means to be valuable as a developer. Tasks that once required entry-level programmers are increasingly being automated, simplified, sometimes assisted by intelligent tools. So this does not eliminate coding, but it reduces the economic value of basic executions. So as a result of this, the advantage is no longer found in the ability to write codes alone, but the ability to think beyond it. Because the future of software development is moving from syntax to structure, from writing instructions to designing systems. And those who do not understand this shift are indirectly preparing themselves gradually in losing relevance in the technological environment in our society today. So this lesson explains how and why entry-level coding roles are declining in value in the technological environment today, and what replaces them in modern technological environment. So the objective is to analyze the impact of automation, the saturation of basic programming skills, and the increase in importance of software architecture. So this lesson tonight also provides a structured understanding of how students and developers can also transition from task-based coding to system-level thinking. So by the end of this session tonight, you should understand the difference between coding and architecture and why this distinction determines long-term relevance in the field as long as our environment is involved today. In early stage of the software industry, coding was specialized skills with limited accessibility. So learning to program required time, effort, and access to resources that were not widely available to some people. So as technology advances, programming language becomes more accessible. Learning platforms expanded and tools simplified development processes. So what happened? This increases the number of individuals entering the field as well. So at the same time, automation tools began to assist the repetitive coding task. So these two forces increased supply of developers and improved automation, created a shift where basic coding skills became less scarce. In economics, when supply increases and tasks become easier to perform, value decreases. So this is the foundation of the current transition that we are facing in the technological environment of our time today about coding. So this lesson structured so many reasons why coding is no longer the future. So this lesson tonight explains why coding is dying and why architecture thinking is the only advantage left. Number 1, labor market saturation. Labor market saturation explains how increased supply reduces entry-level value. Because the numbers of individuals learning to code has grown significantly due to online education. So this creates a saturated labor market at the entry level. So because when many individuals can perform similar tasks, competition increases and wages decreases. Therefore, employers do no longer struggle to find candidates for basic roles, which reduces the bargaining power of entry-level developers. So at Brooks Insight, we learn to understand that when skills becomes common, its economic value decreases as well. And the second reason why coding is dying is automation of repetitive tasks. This is how tools replaces basic coding functions. Because modern development tools, including AI's assisted platforms, can generate codes, debug errors, and suggest solutions. These tools are highly effective at handling repetitive tasks and predictable tasks as well, which are typically assigned to entry-level developers as well. So as a result, that automation improves this, the need for human involvement in these tasks decreases. This does not eliminate developers, but it changes what is expected from them. Another reason why coding is dying is abstraction layers. This is how technology simplifies development complexity. Abstraction layers is a simple process in which technology simplifies development complexity. In our time today, software development now operate on higher levels of abstractions, frameworks, libraries, and APIs. Frameworks, libraries, and APIs allow developers to build complex systems without writing everything from scratch. So, if you think properly, you understand that this reduces the need for low-level coding and shift focus towards integration and design as well. So, entry-level roles that focus on only writing basic codes becomes less critical in this environment that we are living today. So between now and 2030 and 2030 above, people that focuses on only coding are losing their ways to AI. Because abstraction reduces effort but increase the need for understanding. The number 4th reason why coding is dying is because our environment today has been shifted to problem solving. So shift to problem solving is a little process to explain how value moves beyond syntax. Because coding is a tool for solving problems, not the final objectives. So as a result of this, as a tools handling syntax and structure, the real value shifts to identifying problems, designing solutions, and making decisions. So coding is a tool for solving problems, not the final objectives. As tools handling syntax and structure, the real value shift to identifying problems, designing solutions, and making decisions. So at this point, developers who can think critically and structure system becomes more valuable than those who only execute instructions to their machines. Software architecture. Software architecture is another way to explain how the system design defines modern relevance. So this is how system design defines modern relevance. Because software architecture involves designing the structure of systems, how components interact, how data flows, and how scalability is achieved. So for this to be understood, this requires a deeper understanding of systems, not just code. Architects make decisions that affect performance, security, and long-term maintainability. So this level of thinking cannot be easily automated. Because code builds futures, but architecture builds systems. Another reason is economic value of complexity. This is why higher levels of thinking is rewarded. In economics, value increases with complexity and scarcity because tasks that require deeper understanding, experience, and decision making are harder to replace and therefore more valuable. So architecture thinking operates at the higher level, making it a long-term advantage in the industry of development. So this is the reason why people that focus on coding alone will lose their relevance in the years to come in our environment today. The other reason is skill differentiation. Skill differentiation is a simple way to explain how developers separate themselves in a competitive market. As entry-level skills becomes common, you have to understand that differentiation becomes essential as well. So at this point, developers must move beyond basic coding to areas such as system design, not just system design, performance optimization, and strategic thinking and analytical approach, because this creates distinction and increase professionality value, and it's very hard to replace by automated systems, because differentiation is what transforms a skill into an advantage, thereby defining the value. Another reason why you should think of architecture as the new safety is long-term career stability. Long-term career stability is a simple way to explain how architecture provides security in the next future, because roles focused on higher level thinking are less likely to be replaced by automation. So as system becomes more complex, the need for individuals who can design and manage them increases. This is normal to our day-to-day life that we are living in the environment today. So this creates a long-term stability for those who develop these skills as well. because security in a changing world comes from adaptability and depth. Another reason why you should focus on architecture as a safety instead of coding is strategic positioning. Strategic positioning is a simple way also to explain how to remain relevant in a changing development industry that we are living today. Because to remain relevant, you must position yourself ahead of the shift that is currently happening every day. And this means anticipating changes, learning continuously, and focus on skills that are difficult as well to automate. Focus on the skills that are difficult to automate. Those who adapt early gain a significant advantage over those who react late. Because the end of industry level coding does not mean the end of opportunity in the system or in the software industry of our time today. It represents a shift in what is valued. So coding remains important, but it is no longer sufficient on its own. So the advantage now lies in understanding systems, solving complex problems, and designing structures that can scale and adapt. So for you and developers who recognize this shift early, can reposition yourself for long-term success. Because those who do not may find themselves competing in a space where value is steadily declining. Because the future belongs not to those who only execute it, but to those who understand it. Because in an age where code can be generated, the ability to think, design, and structure becomes the true competitive advantage. If tonight is your first time to come across this channel, you are welcome to Brooks Insight. In our night podcast, we talk about human development. Until next time.